But let's continue.
Agree on everything, so the woman's protected as well as the man is protected. And so to me, that's what me and my wife did before we got married. We talked about everything. Every single scenario, every single thing. Me, I'm not a money guy. I'm not motivated by money. So therefore, the money, like, I'm different. Everyone knows me. I'm not a money guy. So you can have all the money. I have my brain. I can start from ground zero. I'll build the money back up. I don't mind money. But to me, because it's another argument that we can talk about later, is that the
Cap. That's a lie, man.
We are talking here about a guy who has his YouTube channels. He has a he's a content creator.
He works
He
hard.
has a he works hard.
He works very hard, and
He has
he's
a
a very
business.
ambitious. Yeah, he's a very ambitious person.
Ambitious guy. He has a suit. The suit he's wearing is his own suit. But come on, man. You're trying to tell me a businessman is not about money? Why start a business then?
Yeah, I think what he's saying. I'm trying to think for him. I'm trying to make sense of what he said. Could be that what he's saying is that because he says that even if
If it takes half, doesn't matter.
you want the money, I'll give you the money as long as I have my brains. I can get everything back. Which is it's a definitely look. It's a good way of thinking, but why cause unnecessary damage? Again, you can also pay her, and let's say if there's a divorce, you can also pay her and keep your a great part of your business. Why would you start from scratch? But he's talking about giving everything. I don't think first of all, I don't think he's being honest. I think he thinks that he's being honest, but he's not. And now that they are, when you're married, it's easy to talk. But if you get a divorce, or if let's say if you're in a bad place in your life, I bet you'll think differently. If the person is not contributing to your growth, for example, if the person is constantly bringing negative energy to your goals, and he's a very ambitious person, you have to give credit where credit is due. And at some point, I bet you wouldn't think, you know what? You've been Debbie downing me for 2 years. Here, 50%. That's not how it goes. You'll think I've reached this despite you trying to bring me down. So it's not.
It's a flawed way of thinking.
It's a very flawed way of thinking.
You never know if you're you never know if you had what you built was the only chance you're going to build anything to be successful.
Yeah.
That might be the only thing you have. So it's kind of arrogant to say that, technically, if you look at it from that perspective.
Well, I also see it, so maybe I'm never gonna guess.
Maybe you're arrogant.
I also think that way. I also think that I have
build it, but
I can build it up.
Yeah. Maybe you're out of luck. You're down on your luck. Maybe the ideas you have in the future were not gonna work. Who knows? But Always protect yourself at all times. Don't get punched in the crotch area. Let's put it that way.
No. Yeah.
The kids is a whole different conversation. Kids are more wealth than money. So I was more obsessed with children than money, because end of the day, like I said, we can talk about that later. But so to me, in regards to losing money, I don't care about losing money. Take whatever you want. If worst case scenario things happen, but by having a marriage agreement, both of you guys understand what's expected of you. And if one person obviously breaks this agreement, both families know. So if she wants a certain amount of kids and I say I don't want it anymore, then her family knows, though, yo, Hafeez, you promised my daughter this, you didn't give it to her, so it makes sense that this marriage is no.
So is this? We all understand what a prenup is, all right? Like it's signed, lawyer, date, bing, 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 bing. What is a marriage contract?
So
is it a verbal agreement? Is it a written agreement?
It can be.
You're saying that the families know each other.
Yeah.
What do you think is a marriage contract? Before he explains it. What do you think is his angle on this one? Have you seen the video, by the way, on his full?
No, I haven't. No.
Okay.
No, I haven't. I was zoned out. But so your question is, what is he going to say? What I think he's going to say?
Yeah, what do you think is a marriage contract, or what his statement will be? Because they are leading to it. Or do you say just continue? Who cares what he thinks?
Yeah, I don't think.
Let's not guess. Let's listen to him.
Yeah, because it's very flawed. Let's just continue.
This is the inner lawyer in you saying, I'm tuning out. Only this.
Yeah,
what is that exactly?
It can be one of three things, right? It can be written between you and this individual, which is the least ideal. The second ideal is you can actually get a mediator or a legal arbiter to actually sign this for you. So therefore, like in the worst case scenario, if you go to court, this is now a legal document, right? So this is a legal document that can be able to be proved in court. But I know a lot of the red pill guys don't like the idea of marriage being controlled by the state. And if you look at a lot of traditional Eastern societies, marriage is really agreement between families. So to me, I think it's really about the families agreeing to this and the families being aware of expectations on both sides. So therefore, there's family accountability, because what's problem in the West is there's no accountability. Like you say, if the wife...
Dude, we agree mostly on all of these things. You understand what's going on here. When you're talking about these marriages and business contracts and family, this is where we agree. And unfortunately, we get into the romance and the feelings part of it, which feelings do change, right? 100%. Your feelings changed about me about a minute ago. People change, and thus,
life changes, right?
Thus, though, the marriage contract doesn't change with the state. So you have to have those things understood and be in the proper position.
Okay, so let me just paint a picture here. So I was married very briefly. Okay,
divorced.
But I had a prenup. Yeah, but right. the entire, without throwing myself under the bus here, she needed to expedite the marriage, you know what I'm saying, in order to.
Yeah, I got it.
So I said, I got you, baby. I love you, but you have to sign and date here, and these are the expectations I've had if I do this for you. And it wasn't like a marriage built to last. It was I'm here for a good time, not a long time type of situation. You could read between the lines here if you know what I'm saying. Okay,
got it.
But we're still cool. Shout out to you, Lauren, if you're watching. All good. But better believe that I had a prenup in that situation. So that's when I was in my early 30s. Now in my early 40s, life's even better. Money's good, career's good, still in shape, still what you would call sexual market value peak. All right. Shout out to Rolo, who basically did a whole calculation. I'm in the 0.13% of men. I'm like, okay, my ego's pretty big already. Boom. Now I just got an inflated ego. Thanks, Rolo. Boom. So life's good. But I had a conversation with a girl recently who's what I would.
KaiR. Could you pause it for a minute? Yeah. Do you understand what he just said with regards to his marriage?
You mean the long time, the I'm here for a fun time, not a long time? That part?
Yeah. Did you get what he was saying? Did you get the basis for the marriage?
Was he trying to get a U.S. citizenship?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so.
I thought so as well, but I'm not sure. But
yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, and in a situation like that, you have to have a prenup. But I think so. There are rules against that, so you can't. So they really control if you are living as a married couple, of course. You know, you have organizations.
They check your marriage contract, right? They check your marriage contract.
They don't even have a file for marriage contract. It goes straight to the recycle bin.
They see the behind. Sir, you have here written down that you have 2 times a day sex. But I see nothing, no cross behind it.
No checks.
No checks. Sir, I don't think this is going to work because
you left. Continue.
you left that marked, and that's the only thing we look at here.
I was gonna say
anyway.
Pun intended, you left the box unchecked.
That's the only thing we're checking, sir. Are you consuming this one, or are you being consumed?
Yeah.
Anyway, let's continue. Adam is explaining his situation.
Very high value woman. Let's put it that way. Okay. And we're saying, all right, if we ended up ever together, I would want a prenup. No. I'm not down for a prenup, was what she says. I said, well, I'm glad we're having this conversation right now before this thing gets off the ground a little bit. She's like, no. And she made some very valid points as to why she wouldn't want to sign a prenup. And I'm like, well, granted, I hear you, and emotional and all that kind of, like, I love what you said about East and West. And I said, yeah, I'm going to need the prenup, baby girl. Like, sorry, like no matter whatever happens. So I'm trying to understand, like, the prenup, the marriage contract. At the end of the day, you'd be a fool as a successful guy to not establish some type of boundaries, some type of protection to say, hey, look, I hear you. You want to have this fantasy land, Cinderella, Snow White vibe go down, right? Beauty and the Beast thing. But like, first marriage is almost 50% don't work. Yeah. Second marriage is, I think it's 60 something percent. Third marriage is 75%. Absolutely. So like the more and more you get married, you realize, all right, this whole thing. So I'm understanding that.
Steve Harvey is on his 4th or 3rd, right?
He's on his 3rd, I think, or 4th. Yeah.
Just wanted to insert that so you guys know where the information is coming from.
I must say though that if they get divorced, I would be shocked.
Well,
if they get divorced,
he better not. He better not, because
very shocked because they seem happy together. So
the previous 2 ones were due to infidelity, right? So
yeah,
but I guess Uncle Harv, it's a bit older, matured a little bit, I guess.
The balance between the emotional component, because you're gonna have to have, hey, I love you, I want to be with you forever, or else we wouldn't get married.
Yeah.
But just flip a coin whether this bad boy is gonna work out or not. At the same time, I hear what Hafeez is saying is like, everything can't be so robotic and so structured that you can't have any feelings and emotion. Yeah. So I'm trying to kind of grapple this.
Can I add something to this?
Go.
See, this is the thing that experience offers that sometimes experience doesn't. So he talked about experience and, being open-minded to experiences, but a guy who has significant investment experiences has bumped their head as well. Yeah. They wouldn't be called bitter. They would be called experience, right? But in this situation, what people don't know what's behind that curtain when you go into court and the love is lost. And also the agreements aren't being upheld with the marriage contract are piranhas, sharks. They typically come in the form of lawyers, judges, and people in that industry who make a lot of money. With that being said, once you go in that room, I'm one of the only people that have been in those rooms. It's a dark place. We call it the belly of the beast. And until you've been there, you really haven't experienced a marriage. Now, let me just say this. You mentioned the divorce. Hold on for a second. Hold on for a second.
Courtroom? You haven't been to marriage?
Yeah. Let me explain why. Let me explain why. You mentioned the 50%, 63%, 70%. But do you know that these don't include the people who have already talked to divorce attorneys? See, many of those 50%, there's an additional percentage of people who haven't even talked to a lawyer, or I'm sorry, that have talked to a lawyer. And
Did you thought about that?
That's what I was alluding to at the beginning of this segment. When I said that I didn't think of it on my own. But it's like remember I said there are people who have considered, those men that have considered divorce, that have went to a divorce attorney and concluded that it's cheaper to live by the adagium happy wife, happy life than to divorce.
I think they have a saying for that, right?
For what?
For what you just said. It's cheaper
To keep
to
her.
keep her.
Yeah.
Let's continue.
And they've gone, okay, I'll stay, baby. It's cheaper to keep her.
Oh! I didn't. By the way, I didn't watch this video. By the way, so but great minds think alike. Coach Greg, great minds think alike. How old is Coach Greg? By the way, he's great. So it means that I'm as great as Coach Greg. I'm not saying that. I'm just kidding, guys.
No, he's younger than he looks.
I guess that court might have squeezed some life out of him.
Yeah.
I think he's in his 50s now.
He's in his 40s.
Really? That great?
Yeah. He's in his 40s.
Let me know, man. Check it. Let me know how old this guy is, man. I'll continue.
Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah.
I'll just accept what it is. I'll stay for the kids. I don't want
also your one was
lose the house. So it's more than 50%. And
you're saying tack on a couple extra percentage
we need to tack on at least 25 extra percent because there are some people who have visited it, and many people reconcile. So it's bigger than that. And when I add on those percentages, it adds some perspective.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, there is more than 50%. These are 50% who legally got divorced. We're adding on the people who said, oh, shit, I'll just go on to stay.
What we call thinking about it.
Yeah, man, I'll think about it. Or the person brought it up. If you don't do this, I'm divorcing.
Ali, let me get your perspective here. Because, again, you're the anomaly. Yeah. Happy marriage, living a good life. And
we can pause it here, man. It's we can end the clip here, but that so Coach Greg Adams goes to 75%, adds an extra 25%, which he says might be the 25. Let's say 25% of married men who have talked to lawyers and decided to stay anyway. It could be 25% indeed.
Sounds kind of high.
It sounds very high. Yeah, sounds very high. So, but nonetheless, there are people who have thought about it and have decided not to go through with it. That being said, a majority of the divorces are initiated by women. So, do you think that men don't go? Maybe men don't even go and talk to their lawyers because they don't even. I think they don't even want to think about